Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back here with Regina Phelps. Excited to have her from beautiful Wichita, Kansas, and her beautiful turtleneck today. It must be cold there. Awen Events is the name of her company, and it's cold, she says. We're going to talk today about her event planning and coordination company and the work-life balance of it all. But first and foremost, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. This is our last episode. I'm kind of sad.
Oh my goodness. Oh, they'll make it a great one. You are an amazing person who wears
Thank
many
you.
hats. And for those that may not know of you, a little bit about yourself and what you do, please, let's get right to it. And then we'll get into that balancing, that juggle
Yes.
that we try to
So
do.
my name is Regina Phelps, and I run Awen Vera Events. If you want to send an inquiry in or just look at our website, we've got a lot of reviews on there and our packages, things like that. My website is awenveraevents.com. That's AWENVERAEVENTS.com. And on Facebook and Instagram, we are at Awen Vera Events.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And the type of events and coordination you're doing range from what to what?
I mean, anything, you name it. If you have a kid's birthday party, you're getting married, you're having an anniversary party, you're retiring. I mean, if you have a reason to party, I want to be a part of it. I love to party. I don't know how else to say it.
I love it. All right. All right. I love it. Let's talk more now. So it's hard though to do everything yourself, work-life balance. I know you wanted to focus on that today, right?
Yeah. So we ended our last episode and we touched base on work-life balance. You had said you were super excited, pardon me, to have a day off. And that you're like, I work all the time. I'm excited to have a day off and I just want to veg and do nothing. So I had said we could spend a whole episode just on work-life balance. And I was like, why don't we talk about that? We should just talk about that. I mean, I think we all struggle with work-life balance or taking intentional time to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
I myself have been in therapy since I was a kid. And so I think I have a better handle on it. I don't want to say that I'm better than anyone else, but I would say that I have a better handle on it than a lot of my colleagues that I see. All the time. It's just so easy to get burnt out, and you don't have to be in the wedding industry or the event industry to burn yourself out. It's super important to take intentional time and focus on yourself or your family or what's important to you, whatever that may be. um, Including and not limited to when you're planning an event. If you're planning a wedding or a really big charitable event or a big event in general, and there's a lot, riding on it financially or professionally, super important that you take intentional time to not work on that event and focus on yourself. If you don't do that, you're going to burn out. You're not going to enjoy that time. You'll create resentment attached to that, and it won't be as fun. Events are always Events should always be fun, right? Like if you're not having fun, other people are going to see that you're the one that created that event, and then it's not going to be as successful. So I think it's just super important that people take intentional time, especially when you're planning your wedding, to be engaged. I'm a fiance. I'm engaged.
I see what
Intentional
you mean.
time
Yep.
to work on your wedding, but then also take intentional time to not work on your wedding. Go out on a date and make it a point that you guys are not talking about the wedding. You're not talking about planning the wedding. You're just going out and having fun and enjoying the fact that you're engaged, right?
Yeah. Gotta
I
make
think
that
we can all admit we struggle in that area.
110 million%. Yes, I'm down with that for sure.
I can't tell you how often my son says, "Are you going to work? Well, when are you going to be back?" I'm like, "I don't know. A meeting could take an hour. It could
It
take
could.
2 hours. I have no idea." you know? So I don't know when I'll be home, but I know I will be home. I mean, I know that, right? But like I don't know. Our kids, I think, are our biggest critics, and they always keep us on our toes, and they have no problem telling us, "Where have you been? Because you haven't been here." I
It's
don't
so
know about
true.
your kids, but my
My
son treats me like my dad.
They always need to be with me and which I love though, like get off the phone. You're spending time with me. Like it's like
Hmm.
I didn't realize how much time they need. They're 6 and 8 still, but it's 24/7. No one gets it. I don't sit. Dinner comes, cleanup comes. I'm still doing laundry around the house. People don't get it. And friends are like, oh, want to come over? Want to go out to dinner? I'm like, have too much to do. It's like there's so much.
Mhm. There's never enough time to get it all done.
Nope.
And
Mm-mm.
sometimes accepting that defeat is like the best thing that you can do for yourself. Like, you know what? I'm not actually going to get all this done. So, you know what? Forget it. Let's just go to dinner. There was a day a couple months ago and it was a bad day. We'd all had a bad day. My daughter was struggling emotionally and we'd had to put our dog down a couple days before and we were just not in a good place. And I looked at my son and I was like, "You want to go to dinner?" And he was like, "Where?" And I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Can we go to Kobe's?" Which is, hibachi expensive. And I was like, "Yeah, let's just go to Kobe's. I don't care." So him and I both like ran to the bathroom to shower because we were like troll people. And if you watched my first video interview, that's the troll person I was
Oh,
describing.
oh,
And we both like jumped in the shower and like the five of us just like went. We just went and William, my baby, got to see the big flames and we
aw.
get that reaction and everything. But it really turned our whole day around. And financially, should I have done it? My bills come and due, but on my credit card. But I mean,
Mhm.
we really loved it. It was really nice to just be out and it made us all feel better. We all went to bed that night having a really bad day, but being able to rely on each other, knowing we can solve good moments,
Yeah,
I
I
think is
love it.
important.
Oh, well, we all went to the Radio City. Did I tell you that? Radio City Christmas Spectacular with the kids to see the Rockettes. And we did that with my sister and her family last weekend, the weekend before. So it was, making that time.
Yes. How was
But
that? Is that just incredible?
oh, it's amazing. I live about an hour or so from the city. So it could take up to 3 hours to get to the city. So I don't live in the city. I live out in the
Yeah.
suburbs on Long Island, but it's been like a tradition ever since I was younger, and it's always amazing
Love
because like
that.
the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree is either decorated or this time it was just up, and they were in the process of decorating with the scaffolding. But it's just like the vibe of New York City to feel it, and everyone loves it supposedly, and we take it for granted because it's here, but so it's just
Right.
beautiful though, looking at all the shops and the Christmas stores and the lights, and yeah, it's good.
Right. Because everybody
Hmm.
does it up for Christmas, especially in New York City.
Yep. It's
That
so
is
beautiful.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's intentional time and it fills your cup up. I mean, honestly, can
Mhm.
keep you going when you're working your tail off and you're just trying to, you know, make enough money to get by. I mean, some of us, that's some of people, that's where they're at, right? So still taking
Mhm.
that intentional time. And when you're planning your wedding, even before your wedding, like those few days leading up to it, go and get a B12 shot, right? Like people don't realize this, but there's different places, like kind of like when you get hungover and you have them come and they put an IV in you because you've been in Cancun for too many days and you need sustenance, right?
You're so funny, yeah.
Those all inclusives can get you. You really need to think about that too. Like even if you don't drink, you are still having a very stressful, exhausting day. Drinking something like a liquid IV or an emergency or doing something that's small but can help your body, fortify you on a day that your body's not used to is super important. So doing something like going and getting a vitamin shot, scheduling an IV,
Where do
somebody to come
you
out with
do
an
the
IV.
doctor's office? Where do you get a vitamin
So there's
B12
different
shot?
places, but they're like clinics. Yeah, they're clinicians, and you can go there. You can schedule. Some places will come to you, depending on where your budget is at. And yeah, you can go and get a B12 shot in your butt, and it literally makes you feel like a whole new person. I don't know how to describe it. But if you don't have enough B12, pardon me, B12 in your system, then your body doesn't absorb the other nutrients that you really need to. B12 is like how do I want to say that? Like it's like the core of your vitamins that you need. So if you don't
Hmm.
have enough B12 and you're trying to take vitamin C or vitamin D, your body isn't absorbing it as well because it's not functioning in its best way. So taking a vitamin B12 shot is always
I like
it's gonna be
that.
good anytime. You don't have to be getting married to get a B12.
I know. I know. I'm like, I'm not, but I'm thinking about this. I don't want to be so
Yeah,
sick.
yeah, yeah. Look into it. Look into it. There's a lot of positivity to it. But I mean, the other thing I would tell people is this is an unpopular opinion, but can we just stop going on our honeymoon the day after our wedding? I know people who
How do
leave the
they do that
reception.
and leave?
Why? Why would you do that? I think it's like, like kind of goes back to like the 50s and the 60s, like, oh, your honeymoon's the day after. And I have had people tell me, well, is it even your honeymoon if you don't go the next day? I'm like, I I don't know that I want my wedding to start like this bender of exhaustion. I'm not saying you can't do it or you shouldn't do it, but like maybe think about not doing it. Give yourself a day in between to sleep, because as women, we are awake from like 5 or 6 a.m. You really don't sleep very much as a bride, because if you're the planner of the event, you don't have to be a woman to plan the event. And if you are the planner of the event, you have put all this invested into it financially, emotionally, mentally. You don't sleep well the night before. I mean, you're like this close to a Xanax prescription. And you then are up all day in hair and makeup. Then you are up all afternoon taking pictures. Then you're up all evening, like overstimulating yourself by seeing all these
I
people you
can't.
love. And it's an enjoyable time, but then you need to be able to prepare yourself to let your body shut down and like sleep all day with your brand new
Yeah.
husband or wife, right? Like just sleep all day and
Yeah.
be a vegetable and then go on your honeymoon well rested,
I
right?
know. I think
And
people would be hungover and exhausted.
yes, like I would not want to start a
Mm-hmm.
3-day bender, 4-day, whatever. Some people go for a whole
No.
week.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have to take a whole day in paradise just to sleep to survive. And then like
Yeah.
you're wasting a day in paradise. Then I feel guilty because I spent thousands of dollars on that trip and I'm sleeping in a bed that's like not as nice as the sticker
Of
price on
course.
that
But
vacation, right?
you're so funny. It's so true. Yep.
I mean, for real. On vacation, I never nap on vacation because I'm like, we gotta go. We gotta go see everything. Gotta see all the things. So I mean, there's something to be said there too. You don't have to go on your honeymoon. You don't leave. Some people leave their reception at 11 p.m. and to get to the airport at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to get through security so they can go on their honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
And those women, and I can only speak as a woman, right? Those women were up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to get to the venue to get hair and makeup done. So you've been
Wow.
up for almost 24 hours. How is that?
Not me. Not good for me.
I don't think
Can't do
I'm going
it.
to go ahead and say you don't have to do that,
Nope. 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 Mm-mm. Good
Oh,
points. Mm-hmm.
mm-mm. It's a no
How
for
do
me,
you
dog.
do it? Wait, how many kids do you have?
I'm pregnant with my
One
fourth, and
on
I
the
just
way,
had a
and it's
baby in January. So I have a almost 11-year-old, an almost 10-year-old, and then I have a 10-month-old, and then I'll have a baby in April,
and you're working,
and
and
I'm
you're
working,
and you make the time,
and I
and
make the
you
time.
look great. You're not feeling down and out, and you're
I
still,
mean,
I
sometimes I
can't.
do feel down and out though, and I'm one of my friends before I got on the Zoom said, "You are so good at work-life balance. Like you are
Mm-hmm.
constantly calling me on my shit. I don't know if I can say that, but calling me, on my crap and telling me like, "Hey, you have overbooked yourself and your body's gonna I mean, your body will shut down whether you want it to or not. So you can keep booking all those things, but eventually you're going to have to cancel plans because you're sick or
Yeah.
you get the stomach flu or you get a sinus infection or whatever. I mean, your body will just be like, no, I'm done. There is a breaking point and you will hit it. And I think because I've been in therapy most of my life, I just know that I have to schedule that time or I will be in trouble. Right. So to avoid, potentially being in trouble later on down the line, I plan time. I just know I have to. Like, unpopular opinion, I really don't take weddings in July. I block that out. My kids are all home and we
Mm-hmm.
just put a pool in last summer and I want
Yep,
to
you
be at
said
home
that.
with my kids. I want to
Mm-hmm.
spend time with my kids. And so that's like my time with them. And if that means that I'm running, for the next, I mean, August, September, October, November, I'm usually running. So for the next 4 months, I'm running. Um, Meaning I'm doing wedding, 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 wedding. Then that's what I'm doing, right? Sometimes it's all the way through to December. January, February, usually slower, but that doesn't mean that I'm not in meetings constantly with brides who are planning their weddings that are coming up in the following year or potential clients. There's wedding expos. I mean, there's back end work that I'm doing in those slow periods. So if I take the month of July and I know that, then I know for all of July, I'm a couch potato. I call myself a bronze trophy wife. And I'm just like basking in the sun, taking it all in. And that's
Mm-hmm.
my time. That works for me. That works for my schedule. So I seriously encourage everyone to do something. I mean, I have a massage therapist I've had the last 2 years because she's prenatal.
Mm-hmm.
And I always have her a scheduled appointment with her before or for the day after a wedding. because it is hard on my body. I'm 35, being pregnant, working 20 hours in one day. It is brutal. It's brutal.
Yes, it is. Woof, woof. And she drinks the coffee. Do we credit this to the ADHD in us? Probably.
Yes,
We
100%.
talked about that, right?
100%. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
100%. I was supposed to decorate for Christmas yesterday and I did it, but like I procrastinated in the weirdest ways. It's just hysterical what ADHD people do to procrastinate. I was like dusting. I dusted last week. Why was I redusting? Right? Is
What are
this
your sleeping patterns and habits? Just curious with the kids, with you.
mine?
Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. So my kids go to bed at 8:30 Central Standard. And then William usually falls asleep between like 9:30, 10 o'clock. We kind of try and milk it. We're in that.
Okay.
He's coming up on a year. So we're
Mm.
trying to get down to one nap, get him all the way through the night sleeping. So he maybe wakes up once in the middle of the night, but that's about it. And my husband's amazing. He gets up with him, which I'm super appreciative of. Um, so I go to bed around 10:15 and then I'm up around 7:30. So I get a good night's sleep. I mean, when right now I'm in a slower period of time.
Yeah.
So that's my sleeping patterns right now. But when I'm running and we're doing weddings every weekend, like last fall, I
Yeah.
did 9 weddings in 6 weeks and there was very little sleep. There's very little
Oh
sleep.
my goodness. That's
You,
crazy.
you're at a wedding from 8 a.m. until 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's just at the venue.
Yeah.
So then you're
Just
up 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning to get ready for work. And then you don't get home until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then Sunday's the only day that I'm not working really. And so then that Sunday and Mondays are my day where I get a massage and then or like a pedicure or something, depending on where we're at on our budget, if I can afford a massage or a pedicure, right? Because the pedicure chairs, you can get a massage there. Not
yeah.
as good,
No,
but
no, no, but
it's something.
oh my
And
gosh.
I'm a vegetable. Like I just like kind of like sit and watch, like Law and Order SVU or Harry Potter and do nothing all day.
I love it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
have
wild.
help? Who helps you with the kids?
Or my mom and my mother-in-law. I
Oh,
mean, that's really who we use. Like the older two, we live in this cul-de-sac, and so I call it our cul-de-sac life.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of our cul-de-sac families will hang out with our kids or whatever, the older two. And so then we can
Oh,
take William and just drop him with my sister, one of my sisters, or my niece, or my mom, or Kyle's parents. And so we do have a lot of support. We're really lucky to have that. Not everybody has the opportunity.
no. All right.
Yeah.
Woo. We still have a few more minutes to talk, but what else did you want to share? My goodness, you're
I
so
just
busy. It makes
really,
me
yeah.
feel not
So it's so
busy.
important, you guys, to take time to take care of yourself because it'll show on your
Mm-hmm.
face, in your body, in your efforts if you're not. I had a bride text me yesterday. Her wedding's not till 2025. And she said, I think we want to change our venue. And I said, okay, well, before we just do that, I'm happy to cancel it with them for you. But before we do that, what I need to do is have a conversation with you just to kind of get on your page because changing your venue is like a big deal. That's
Huge.
right. What else have you booked already? And if you change it, she's changing it from Kansas City to Wichita, which is about a 2.5 hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
So some then you're gonna maybe not take on some travel fees from one vendor, but then maybe you're taking on travel fees from another vendor. What do those travel fees look like? What are you still liable for in
Mm-hmm.
the contract you have with your venue? So there's a lot of budgeting things that go into that. But and we looked at everything and everything was fine. But after she's like knew she was changing her venue, she was like, I like feel like I'm ready to plan my wedding now. Like the guilt that she felt on spending that much money on the venue she had chosen originally made her not want to plan her wedding. And she didn't even realize that
Wow.
for like 2 years,
Wow.
didn't realize that. So she was like, I'm just like really excited to plan my wedding now. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, let's run with that. Right. It's like, why don't you make a dress appointment? Go try on some dresses, right? Like that's gonna make you feel pretty. And she was like, okay, yeah, I could do that. I was like, did you go to the bridal expo last year? And she was like, oh, well, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's how she booked with me. She met me at the expo. And I said, you should go back, start over, restart, just restart your whole planning
Restart.
process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, it'll show if you really don't take time to take care of yourself and you're going to rush into decisions that maybe aren't really what is right for you. And then you're going to have to go back and change all of those things. And it just puts more on your plate, right?
Totally does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. What do
Mental.
you have coming up the next couple weeks? Are you just crazy, 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 busy, busy, busy?
Well, this weekend we got breakfast with Santa at the kids' elementary school. Then in the community we live in, the clubhouse, we have a breakfast with Santa on Sunday. Oh, and then we're taking our picture with Santa Saturday night and our holiday card pictures. But we have a basketball game Friday night. Oh, we have practice on Thursday night. I'm actually going out tonight, like on a date. So my kids are gonna have the babysitter here she hasn't been here since the summer. She moved down to Florida, but she's the only person I trust with my kids. Other than that, it's me and them
Yeah,
full
it's hard.
time. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm going out, which is great. And then the following weekend, me and the boys are going down to Nashville, Tennessee for just 3 days to see his godfather and do some fun Christmas stuff. So I love Nashville because it's like all decorated for Christmas and the
Yeah.
Gaylord Opryland Hotel. Gonna take them to like a Christmas show. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
How old is your son?
6 and 8, so they'll love it.
6.
We went there last year and they loved it was just awesome. Yeah.
8 is such a really amazing age. I think that's when my son first gave me my first side hug. But he still will snuggle with me. He probably hates that I'm saying that on air, but he will. He will when he's not
Aw.
FaceTiming ladies. He will come and snuggle with me. I should, tell his girlfriends that. Like he still snuggles his mama. I just want you to know that because he
I
will
love
like,
it.
you want to snuggle?
Oh my gosh. Oh
He's
my
my
goodness.
snuggle boy. But they like as they get like 8, there was like this jump where he wasn't this little boy anymore. He was kind of becoming this like little man. And it's awesome to watch, right?
It's
You want
hard
to
to
watch your kids
accept.
grow up,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
sucks.
I get it. I get it.
Sucks. Or I'll
Yeah.
say, why did you do this or that? Like I'll get on to him about, I told you to take the trash out. You didn't take the trash out. I'm sorry. Oh, are you? It sounds like you're not sorry the way you said it. I'm
Mhm.
like, where did that attitude come from? I haven't heard that since you were a toddler. So weird. I feel
Yep.
like we're
Oh,
like walking into teenage years and we're not in teenage years. It's a scary time.
I agree. Oh my gosh. It really
If you're a
is.
parent out there,
God
you're doing
bless.
great.
You're so positive. I love it. I love it. Seriously, we need to be, yeah.
Oh,
I wish you lived closer. What do you have coming up the next 2 weeks? Oh, I may have a baby.
I don't know. Yeah, I might
When is
save
your
the
due
world. I
date?
haven't
Wait, when's your
decided.
due date?
April 22nd.
Okay.
And I have 6 family members that are all pregnant too.
Oh my gosh.
Those
What?
Catholics, I'm telling you, we're all Catholic. Every one of us is pregnant. Um,
Amazing.
I've got 2 events this weekend. I've got a holiday party that I have a staff working, and then I'm at a 70th wedding anniversary. A 70th. They've been married for 70 years. They got married in 1953. How
Oh
cute is
my
that?
gosh, that is adorable.
It is
Wow.
so cute. I love it. I'm like, oh my gosh, true love exists. I can't wait to ask them questions like what's your advice to
Yeah.
people that are out there? Like, what would you say? I love old people's advice because it's honest and it's hilarious. It's like very honest but honestly usually pretty funny
And real.
and real, very real. They
hmm
don't, yeah, they don't, they just get
And
right to
it's
the
like,
point.
wait, I'm gonna be like that one day?
I mean, I hope so.
Isn't that crazy?
There's an Amazon commercial out where the old ladies go sledding. Have you seen it?
No.
And they're just watching all the kids sled, and they're like, "Gosh, I wish I could go sledding, but you can't because you'll break a hip." And
No, I didn't see.
and so they buy these butt pads for the sleds. The one lady buys them for all 3 of them, and then they go sledding down the hill. And I'm like, "That's it. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want to be one of the ladies with the butt pad in my sled. I still want to sled when I'm an 80-year-old woman.
I love it.
I hope I make it to 70 years. Probably not.
I
My
know.
husband's 20 years older than me. He's 18 years older than me. But, if he lives, then we can make it.
Make it anywhere. Well, it's a pleasure speaking with you. Maybe we'll be back together. I won't say goodbye, right? We'll say till next time.
Till next time. I love
Yeah,
that. Thank you
thank
so much
you.
for having me. This has been such a joy. I hope you enjoy the holidays.
You too,
And I hope
sweet.
you have a wonderfully safe trip to Nashville.
Thank you. And you too.
You're
And good
welcome.
luck, Mama. Good luck with the baby and the family and all you do. Congrats.
Thank
Gosh,
you.
successful, hardworking woman and mom. And I commend you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day, okay?
Yeah, you
See ya.
too. See ya.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.